and welcome back to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive deep minute by minute into the cinematic adaptation of Frank Herbert's world of Dune. I am one of your hosts, Zach.
And I'm John.
And we are here with Atreides Nuts, D's, rounding out the week. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks for letting me out of the basement to do one more episode. Please let me go home.
Back to your cell.
For reasons that I'm sure will be explained via voiceover later, this has been a much longer record than we normally have. So I appreciate your patience and your family's patience as well. So thank you so much.
And it's been great having you. It's been great having you on the show. We've
likewise.
been having a lot of fun.
So much fun. I love nerding out on Dune, and this has been such a fun way to do it. So glad to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on.
And to our audience, we appreciate your patience because I know this has been a week of super long episodes, but I think we're gonna give you all some reprieve with this Friday episode.
Absolutely. So we're here on this Friday. We are here on this Friday to talk about minutes 74 through 75. And we are picking right back up from the Bene Gesserit sisters walking into their box seats. And we get a little bit of conversation between them. John, what do they say?
Yeah. Well, they're not the ones that open the conversation. Margot Fenring, who we talked in detail about yesterday, says, "Welcome to Gady Prime, sisters. I hope your travels were agreeable." And the sisters get right down to business. They're just like, "A long way to come just to watch our prospect risk his life, Lady Fenring."
I love how annoyed they are to be there.
Oh,
like they very clearly are like,
they're
this
so
place
fucking pissed
is a
off.
shithole. We don't want to be here. We especially don't want to be here to watch this idiot die. Like, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, that rule. I don't even need to see your face to know. Like, oh yeah, I feel you. Because honestly,
they're so pissed.
Probably costs a lot of Solaris to get there.
So if Herald of the Change, who we affectionately named Harold, if that whole basically what could have been an email in the beginning scenes of the first Dune movie,
that's not very Butlerian of you.
That's true, but I
stand
by it.
You send a distrand or you shut up, okay?
If that whole thing cost how many, John? Do you remember?
1.4 million and 6 Solaris. There's 62 Solaris, yeah.
Then
Round
I'm
trip.
sure a whole cadre of Bene Gesserits was expensive as well.
Yeah. Margot's response is, "No fear. These fights are all just for show. But we'll get a good look at them."
Oh, I bet they will.
Yeah. So Margot is notorious GHM's agent here on Gady Prime, gone to inspect the prospect, Fade Routha Harkonnen.
Yeah. Yep. And she says we'll get a good look at him, and man, we do. Because
we've already gotten a fantastic look at
those
him.
hands are clenched tight, and those veins are popping out as he grips those blades.
Oh, yes. He's
doing some forearm curls. I love it.
So
rice in a bucket.
when we finish up with Margot Fenring, we do cut right to Fade, but like you said, we see those beautiful, beautiful hands holding onto his brand new blades. And there's a really kind of almost out of place ADR like sword, sound effect that's kind of there. I wouldn't say it's Foley's, brightest moment, but it's there. And we get
they resharpened them. They're that sharp.
That is true. They did get resharpened.
They took that notch down.
Yeah, no longer a notch.
But we're only in the natural color of the dungeon lighting, where Fade has normal colored, human flesh colored skin for only a moment, because he is introduced and his doors to the Colosseum open, and we just see his pasty skin turn even pastier at this point. Fade walks out to thunderous applause, and we get one of the coolest, VFX, but it's actually a practical effect and just overlaid. footage on top of, what we're seeing here kind of shot with the black fireworks of inverted ink explosions.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cool.
And
It's so cool.
And Art and Soul didn't have a ton to say about these ones, more to say about what we'll see later on.
Okay.
But it did say that there was, Art and Soul did talk about how there was, so many tests to try and figure out like what looked the coolest and what looked the best. And ultimately, it was dropping ink in isopropyl alcohol.
Oh, that's so cool.
My guess was not that far off.
Yeah. So it's something to do with the solubility of alcohol and the non-soluble ink and how they work together. It's a very like oil and water kind of situation, but with a much thinner alcohol base and a much thicker paint ink base. So
Okay. I love that because my first thought, and I think a lot of people's, if they're really dissecting this minute by minute, which if you're doing that, stop it. We've copyrighted this.
No, we haven't. We are far from the first. We are far from the first.
Joking,
minute.
I'm joking.
Okay, well, you know what? Then I call dibs, and we'll talk about my royalties on this idea that I did, since you copyright.
So, my first thought on this was an oil and water situation.
Same.
But oil into water would have been a much more of a blobby
Blobs.
drop. Yeah, blobby drop. But then I went into, so what if they did something like a gasoline into water, which is basically like an ethanol into a water. And that has much more of that like strandy drops into it. Thank you, Dad, for teaching me chemistry.
Preach.
So I wasn't that far off. Great.
Yeah.
I felt like we might have talked about this a little bit in the previous minute, I think, but like for a world supposedly like seeping with oil, like it is just gross and polluted. I felt like we don't get a ton of like wide angle shots of Giedi Prime in the Villeneuve movies. We don't really get a ton of them in the Lynch film either. But like we get told in the books, like this world is nasty. You don't want to be here. It sucks.
Yeah.
And considering that we don't get a lot of that kind of wider angle looking at it, and I think especially if we're talking about the infrared light, it would be hard to pick up details at a distance anyway. So I don't know how effective a wide angle shot necessarily would have been of just architecture. But the way that it's effect to convey like this world is kind of gross. Like it pays a really nice homage, I think, to what Herbert wrote Giedi Prime is, while still letting Denis and his team be themselves. It was really cool. I thought a really nice, effective way to essentially give us that wide angle shot of Giedi Prime without doing it. I loved it. This is one of my favorite effects in the movie.
I agree. And all the stuff that we talked about, like of the atmosphere, being polluted and everything, the atmosphere's thick.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the weird shapes that we are seeing from these like fireworks, basically, of course they don't explode in like the fireworks that we're used to seeing on Earth. They just like kind of go out to a little blob and dissipate super quickly.
Yeah, they're not all nice and pretty. They just kind of splatter.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a really neat.
They are also gross. You have somehow taken fireworks and made them gross. Congratulations.
But
they live to offend.
Yeah. But as Fade is walking out, we hear the crowd chanting "Fade Rautha, Fade Rautha," and it's so cool. We cut back to Margot's perspective through her opera glasses and everything.
She's getting a good look.
She's watching Fade walk out to the middle of the ring and take a knee, and then she looks up to Vladimir's box from where she's sitting. And before we see Vladimir's reaction, we're cutting back down to Fade. We're looking, camera is up above him at like a 45-degree angle looking down, almost like we are Vladimir in this moment. We see Fade's, eyes are super, sunken in and black under that very large protruding brow. And one nice side effect of the infrared camera is that veins on pale skin pop super super clearly.
Yeah.
And you can see like Fade's veins and everything in his arms and in his neck and stuff, and it makes him look even more like weird and fucking creepy. But we go from the very muscular Fade, who's kneeling in the center of the ring, and end this minute on his very large, very, very fat uncle
with the
begin
shrug.
his Jabba the Hutt like shrug.
Yes,
And our minute ends right there.
Rip.
This is okay. So I think this would have been a laugh line kind of in the movie, like as you were just watching it, but having this minute cut off and the fact that it is our Friday minute cut off at the height, I would even say, of this shrug was chef's kiss.
So good.
Beautiful.
The Baron just taking a hit from the PM tank. Like,
Yeah.
It was so good. And I can't think of a better way to end this stretch of minutes.
Yeah.
happy Friday.
Yeah. Now, Deez, I know you're familiar with the show, so you know what comes next. Because you are our guest, we are bestowing upon you the responsibility of, having to assign a Shai-Hulud rating. If Chris Knife held to your throat,
Yep.
Fade Rotha approaches you and says, "How many Shai-Huluds between 1 and 10 are you going to give this week? What are you thinking?"
First of all, if Austin Butler as Fade Routha or Sting as Fade Routha is approaching me, I'm weak in the knees, and I think it's okay. To be honest, if I had thought about that when I first sat down and I just watched the minutes straight through, I think I probably would have said like 5 or 6. But as I sat down with them and then actually really took time to talk through them, I think I have to give it a solid 8 Shai-Huluds. There was some really cool stuff in here that I definitely did not appreciate before sitting down to do my homework here. I think I hope the listeners have come at us feeling a similar way.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to join you. We're not exactly hand holding up there, but I'm gonna join you at a 7.5. At least we're ballpark buds.
Yeah.
On this.
Yep.
I love this week, man.
Yeah.
This is a really good week of minutes.
I'm so glad. So before I get into it, I had 7 to 7.5, and this week isn't as high action as last week was, but man, I'm so glad that we had you here, just because this week is, it's Irulan, it's Fade, and it's Margot Fenring.
Margot. Yep.
And having all 3 of the characters together in 1 week is a breath of fresh air, from where we've been for the last hour on Arrakis.
Yeah.
With no major characters being introduced basically since the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
we've kind of been living.
I'm trying to think of the last major character. I wouldn't consider Shishkali a major character, because she's exclusively a companion to Chani. So yeah,
this is the first like major characters that we've gotten introduced outside of the core ones that we already knew going in.
Yeah.
And you get three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have three of them.
So much cool subtext. Like there's just so much packed. That I think is really what I'm speaking to with my Shy Haloods this week. Like, damn, this is a juicy 5-minute window.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff in here, and kind of sneaks up on you, which I appreciate a good jump scare.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all of the time that you've put into joining us on this. This has been
so much fun. Yeah, I am down to nerd out about Dune. Pretty much any time, as long as it's not working hours.
Well, we will have to have you back for sure.
I look forward to it.
This has been a blast.
Yeah, right back at you. Appreciate you guys, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming episodes.
Well, you can find Dees on Blue Sky at Muadiba Trades, double E with a Z. And you can find the Dune Minute on Blue Sky at duneminute.com, and you can email duneminute@gmail.com if you'd ever like to get in touch with us. Once again, Dees, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we will be back next week with more of whatever the fuck Vladimir's shrugging about.
We will see y'all later.
See ya.
Bye.